Welcome to Rise Untold, where the stories behind the spotlight come alive. For 15 years, they never stopped. 15 years of highways, backroads, barns, and hidden treasures. 15 years of chasing history. One forgotten artifact at a time. Mike Wolfe and Danielle Colby didn't just create a show, they created a way of life. They turned curiosity into television magic. They transformed ordinary barns into treasure troves. And in the process, they made America fall in love with its own forgotten past. When American Pickers premiered back in 2010, no one could have predicted just how much it would capture the world's imagination. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about ratings. It was about discovery, about walking into the dust of yesterday and pulling out a story no one remembered, and for more than a decade, Mike and Danielle became America's guides. He, the relentless seeker with a sixth sense for history hidden in plain sight. She, the energy, the charisma, the fire that balanced the hunt with heart. Together, they brought an authenticity that made American Pickers different from anything else on television. But now, for the first time since it all began, everything has stopped. On August 20th, 2024, the season 27 finale aired on the History Channel. It wasn't just the end of a season, it was the beginning of something no one expected. Silence. Yes, for the very first time in 15 years, American. Pickers is on a filming hiatus. Mike Wolfe admitted it himself. We haven't done that in 15 years, so that's going to feel good. Think about that for a second. 15 years, day after day, season after season, road after road. Their longest break before this? Just a single month around Christmas. This time, it's different. Now they're facing 4, maybe even 5 months away from the grind. And for a man like Mike, whose life has been defined by the chase, stepping away feels almost unreal. But maybe, just maybe, it's exactly what they need. Because you can't run forever. Even history needs to breathe. Still, don't think for a second that this pause means retirement. Far from it. Mike Wolfe has never been the kind of man to sit still. When cameras stop rolling, his creativity doesn't. He stepped into something new. The world of film. In The Reckoning, Wolfe proved he wasn't just a picker, he was a performer. It was a new chapter, a new identity, and then the History Channel came calling again. They asked him to front a brand new project, History's Greatest Picks with Mike Wolfe. It's still about discovery, he said, but this time it's very story-based. In each episode, in just 1 hour, Wolfe will uncover 4 stories, not just about objects, but about people, about the lives those objects touched, about the hidden threads of humanity that tie the past to the present. Because for Mike, picking was never about antiques. It was about memory. It was about the stories that objects carry in their silence, and now he's bringing those stories into the spotlight in a whole new way. And if that wasn't enough, Wolfe has built something off-screen too. He now runs short-term rental properties, one of which just opened this past May. A picker, a performer, a businessman, Wolfe continues to reinvent himself, even in the quiet. But what about Danielle Colby? To call her just the co-star of American Pickers would be a mistake. She's always been more than that. The heartbeat, the spark, the boldness that made the show unforgettable, and in this hiatus, Danielle hasn't slowed down either. Instead, she's leaned into her art, her passion, her truth. In Davenport, Iowa, she created something the world had never seen before, the Ecdesiast Arts Museum, a museum dedicated to the history of burlesque and stripping. To some, controversial. To others, revolutionary. To Danielle, it's a calling. She's never been afraid of breaking boundaries. Never been afraid of living unapologetically. On stage, under the name Danny Diesel, she performs burlesque with the same fire and confidence that made her a household name. Every performance is a declaration. Every movement, a story. And beyond the stage, Danielle has embraced her role as an activist and educator, preserving the often overlooked history of performance art. On social media, she continues to turn heads, whether it's with daring outfits, powerful statements, or unfiltered honesty. She's proof that authenticity isn't just a brand, it's a way of life. For both Mike and Danielle, this hiatus isn't an ending, it's a reset. It's a chance to recharge, to redefine, to rise in new ways. But still, the question lingers. Will American Pickers return for season 28? As of today, there's no official word from the History Channel. No date, no confirmation, just silence. And maybe that silence says more than words ever could. Because after 15 years of constant filming, maybe the show itself needs to take a breath. Maybe this is the pause that will make the return even stronger, and if it does return, imagine a rested cast, a recharged crew, a show that comes back not just as entertainment, but as something deeper, a reminder of why we fell in love with it in the first place. Because sometimes the greatest discoveries aren't made on the road. They're made in the pause, in the stillness, in the courage to stop. If Mike Wolfe and Danielle Colby can step away after 15 years of chasing history, maybe you can too. Maybe your break, your pause, your reset is the key to your next rise. This isn't the end of American Pickers. It's not the end of Mike. It's not the end of Danielle. It's just a new beginning. Think about that for a moment. For 15 years, Mike Wolfe and Danielle Colby lived in motion. Every season, every episode, every mile on the road was another step forward, never backward, never stopping. The world saw the treasures they uncovered, but what we didn't always see was the toll it took, the endless travel, the grind of constant filming, the pressure to always find something new, to finally stop. Feels almost radical. But sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to pause, to step away, even when the world expects you to keep going. And maybe that's the lesson hidden inside this hiatus, that life isn't just about running at full speed. It's about knowing when to breathe, when to recharge, when to remind yourself of who you are beyond the titles, beyond the work, beyond the cameras. For Mike, this new beginning is about creativity. He isn't just a picker anymore. He's a storyteller, a filmmaker, a host who wants to explore history in a deeper way. His new show promises to uncover not only objects, but the human stories attached to them. It's not about rust and dust. It's about legacy. And maybe that's always been the heart of what made American Pickers so special. For Danielle, this new beginning is about freedom. She's embracing her art, her museum, her performances, not as side projects, but as her identity. She's reminding the world that she is not just someone in the background of a TV show. She is her own force, with her own vision, her own path. She's breaking boundaries, reclaiming histories, and showing what it means to live without apology. And for the audience, the millions who have tuned in for over a decade, this new beginning is a reminder that even the things we love most can change. Shows evolve. People grow. Sometimes the road we've been traveling on has to split into new directions. That doesn't mean the journey is over. It just means it's entering another chapter. So, what can we take from this moment? Maybe it's this. If Mike Wolfe and Danielle Colby can step back after 15 years of never slowing down, maybe you can too. Maybe the pause you've been avoiding isn't failure. Maybe it's necessary. Maybe it's the exact thing that will give you the strength to begin again. Because endings are never really endings. They're invitations to reset, to rediscover, to rise again. The story of American Pickers isn't finished. The story of Mike Wolfe isn't finished. The story of Danielle Colby isn't finished. And neither is yours. So take the pause. Take the breath. Take the leap into the unknown. Because sometimes the greatest treasures aren't found in barns or back roads. Sometimes they're found in the courage to start over. And if they could do it, after 15 years of chasing history, maybe you can too. This is Rise Untold.